In the year 2045, it wasn't war anymore. It was survival. Earth had become a graveyard where humans fought monsters that didn't sleep, didn't negotiate, didn't feel mercy. And in the middle of that endless night, a lone soldier stared up at death itself, a colossal creature with glowing red eyes, its shadow swallowing him whole. A tentacle lifted. It aimed, and in that frozen heartbeat before death, a blade sliced the darkness. Commander Hanung arrived like a storm, his movement sharp enough to carve hope out of despair. He saved the soldier, then the man behind him, then everyone else in that battlefield who still dared to breathe. But just when victory felt within reach, a golden magic circle appeared under his feet. Light, pain, silence, and then chains. Cold, glowing chains that dug into his skin and stole the air from his lungs. He was no longer on Earth. Robed strangers stared at him like he was both a miracle and a weapon. Hero, the old man called him, his voice too calm, too practiced. Save our world. Defeat the Demon King. We will send you back. He tried to fight, to scream, to demand answers. Pain swallowed his words. He agreed, not because he wanted to, but because he had no choice. He became their weapon for 10 years, 10 long, bleeding years, where every night he whispered one thing: "I want to go home." But when he finally defeated their Demon King, when he finally earned his freedom, they betrayed him again. The old man simply smiled and sent him after another target, because why release a dog that bites so well? He obeyed, and he killed. And then he was stabbed in the back by the very empire he saved. As his chest burned and his blood spilled onto foreign soil, he understood one final truth. They never planned to let him go. And with the last of his fading life, he made a vow, not whispered, not prayed, but etched into the universe with raw hatred. I will destroy your empire. A brilliant blue light burst from his heart, and the world ended. Then began
light, soft, warm, unfamiliar. Hanung blinks. No, Dale blinks. And the world tilts in a haze of gentle colors and muffled sounds. Something cradles him, something warm, something trembling, something soft. A woman's voice. "Oh, he's beautiful." Her words vibrate through his tiny body, and for a moment, he forgets how to breathe. She looks down at him with eyes full of something he hasn't seen in a decade. Not fear, not expectation, not hunger for a weapon, but love, pure and unconditional. The woman smiles, her long hair glowing like sunlight against polished marble. "I'm your mother," she whispers, as if the world might break this moment if she speaks louder. A taller figure steps into his blurred vision, a man, dark-haired and sharp-eyed, exuding a quiet strength that fills the room. "I am your father," he says, And Dale feels it, the unmistakable aura of necromancy, heavy and cold, clinging to the man like a shadow he wears proudly. Duke Dale Saxon, the strongest necromancer on the continent. He should be afraid. He should be calculating. But instead, he feels something else. Something he hasn't let himself feel in 10 long years. Safety. But then, why isn't he crying? The nanny's voice cuts through the moment like a blade. The mother stiffens, the father narrows his eyes. He should be crying, the nanny says, worried. If he doesn't cry, a hand lifts, a slap lands. Pain shoots through his tiny body, but he does not cry. He refuses to cry. He didn't cry when he was whipped for disobedience. He didn't cry when comrades died in front of him. He didn't cry when a sword pierced his chest. He will not cry now. The parents watch in confusion. The father mutters, "A child who does not cry is a bad omen." The nanny raises her hand again, but the mother stops her. She leans in slowly. Her hands touch him gently, not striking, not testing, just warming. A soft, trembling pat on his back. Her touch is warm, painfully warm, like a memory he buried so deep he forgot it ever existed, like hands he once wished would hold him after nightmares, like comfort he never received. And suddenly, his chest tightens, his breath shatters, a sound breaks from him, raw, loud, uncontrollable, a cry, his very first cry in 2 lifetimes. The mother gasps, the father stiffens in disbelief, and Dale, reborn warrior, betrayed hero, hardened killer, cries like a child who finally remembers what love feels like. 8 years pass. The grand library of House Saxon becomes his refuge, his sanctuary, towering shelves packed with ancient spell books, dust motes drifting like snowflakes, silence so thick it could drown a man. Dale devours every word. His small fingers trace diagrams of mana veins, formulas of elemental theory, the history of forbidden magic. Knowledge wraps around him like armor. The servants whisper. He reads like he's racing someone. He never plays outside. He never cries. But they don't know him. They don't know the man buried inside the boy's skin. The one who wakes up sweating from nightmares of an empire that still wants him dead. The one who grips blankets as if they're chains. The one who whispers revenge into the darkness. He learns to smile gently, laugh softly, act like the nice, noble child everyone adores. But at night, he studies until sunrise, rewriting magic formulas with the precision of a surgeon sharpening a blade. He wants necromancy. He needs necromancy. It's the only magic strong enough to tear an empire apart. But his mother insists. No dark magic, ever. Her fear of darkness is real, deep, personal. The father made a vow on his wedding day never to pass his forbidden art to their children. He knows this. He respects it. He hates it, because every day without necromancy feels like a day stolen from his vengeance. Then everything changes. One morning the manor shakes in panic. Mana erupts from Dale's small body, blue, bright, uncontrolled. The library trembles, books fly off shelves, the air crackles. He collapses. His mother screams, "Dale!" But Dale barely hears her. Memories of the Demon King's throne, of chains burning into his skin, of the old man's smile. They all rush back. Footsteps thunder towards him. The Duke stops at the doorway, eyes widened at the impossible sight. A mana overflow at his age? He approaches slowly. Dale, did you release mana just now? Dale freezes. One wrong expression, too calm, too skilled, too knowing, and he will expose himself. He forces fear into his eyes. His voice trembles. I don't know what happened. The Duke stares at him, long, silent, studying. Then he smiles, a rare, proud smile, as expected of my son. Those words, a simple praise from a father he barely knows, hit harder than he expects. For a moment, Dale is 8 years old. Not Hanung, not a soldier, not a killer, just Dale, a child whose father is proud of him. He clings to that feeling longer than he should. His 8th birthday arrives, gold banners, laughter, nobles drinking and boasting. Dale watches from the balcony like a ghost drifting among the living. He hates crowds, too loud, too many eyes, too many ways to be hurt. His mind wanders back to the mana incident, to the book that triggered the memory of his past life, the life of the hero from another world. He wonders who wrote it. He wonders if the Empire remembers him. He wonders if they are looking for him. A familiar hand rests on his shoulder, his mother, and beside her stands a mysterious woman draped in a blue hood. Dale, the Duchess says, with warmth that never fails to steady him, "This is Sophia. She will be your new teacher." The hood lowers, and Dale sees her. Blue hair like flowing water, eyes deep, gentle, curious, a presence that feels calm enough to drown storms. Sophia smiles softly. "It's an honor to meet you, young master." Her voice is peaceful, but sharp beneath the surface, like she sees more in him than he wants to reveal. Sophia asks to walk with him. Snow crunches under their boots as they step into the garden. She stops, faces him, studies him. Then she asks, "You want to learn necromancy, don't you?" Her heart nearly stops. How did she know? Her smile widens, not mocking, not judgmental, but almost amused. "It's natural. Your father is the greatest necromancer alive. Any child would want to follow in his footsteps." She turns her gaze towards the snowy horizon, but your mother fears the dark arts. Her tone shifts, gentle but probing. "Tell me, Dale, will you still walk a path everyone denies you?" Dale feels a surprising warmth in his chest. Someone finally sees me. Someone finally understands me. Sophia steps closer. "If you follow me," she says, voice low and steady, "I will help you find the strength you seek." His breath catches, because for the first time since he was betrayed, for the first time since he died, someone is offering not a chain, but a future.
Snow drifts across the Saxon estate like a slow, silent lullaby. Dale walks beside Sophia, their footprints scattering trails across the white garden path. She moves with the quiet grace of water, calm, fluid, unreadable. Her gaze keeps drifting toward him, not suspiciously, curiously, as if she senses a storm trapped inside a child's body. "Your magic is, unusual. It feels deep, heavy, like an ocean sitting inside a teacup." Dale's breath catches. She's closer to the truth than anyone's ever been. He looks down at his gloves, hiding the faint tremor in his fingers. "I just study a lot." Sophia smiles gently. "Knowledge doesn't create that kind of power. Experience does." Experience. a word that tastes too old for an 8-year-old mouth. Sophia kneels so her eyes meet his. Dale, what is it you truly want? No one has ever asked him that. Not his father, not his mother, not anyone in his first life. They all told him what he must do. But Sophia waits. Her eyes soft, patient, accepting. He wants to answer. He wants to say, I want power. I want revenge. I want to tear down the empire that stole everything from me. But all he says is, I want to get stronger. Sophia studies him for a long, silent moment. Then, I'll make you stronger. She stands, brushing snow from her robes. Let's begin. The first lesson. Sophia takes him to the training hall. Blue mana swirls around her hands, calm, fluid, elegant. She raises her hand. A sphere of water forms in the air, shimmering like liquid crystal. Your heart controls mana, so tell me, Dale, what does your heart feel? His heart? He wants to say rage, or fear, or hate. But a different feeling slips out. Heavy. Sophia's expression softens. Then, let's lighten it. She guides his hands, her touch gentle, steady, grounding. For a moment he forgets the chains of his past life. The battlefield, the blood. For a moment he feels like a child learning something beautiful. Mana gathers around him, thin at first, then swelling like a rising tide. Sophia steps back. Now breathe. He does. A sphere of water forms above his palm, perfect, clear, stable. Sophia blinks. Already? She hides her shock behind a calm smile. Very good. Again. He creates another. Then another. Then a torrent of miniature water orbs spinning around him like satellites. Sophia exhales slowly. You might be a genius. Dale flinches. Because the last people who called him that chained him, used him, broke him. Sophia notices. She steps closer and places a hand on his shoulder. Being a genius doesn't make you a tool. It makes you someone worth believing in. Her warmth disarms him more than any battlefield ever did. A teacher who sees too much. Days become weeks. Sophia teaches with patience that shakes Dale to his core. She corrects his posture gently. She praises him earnestly. She scolds him only when needed, and even then, she softens the blow with a small smile. Dale mirrors her steps, synchronizing with her magic until water bends at his fingertips like second nature. But she also watches him. Not suspiciously, thoughtfully. Like she's trying to understand the wounds behind his eyes. One evening, after a particularly quiet lesson, she asks softly, Dale, do you have nightmares? His throat tightens. The mana in the air flickers. Sophia doesn't push. She simply walks to the window, placing a hand on the glass fogged with winter breath. When I was young, I used to have nightmares too. I dreamed of being trapped, drowning in darkness. Dale looks up sharply. Sophia smiles faintly at the reflection in the glass. You don't have to tell me what haunts you. Not yet. But if your heart ever becomes too heavy, let me carry a piece of it. The sentence nearly breaks him, because in 2 lifetimes, no one has said anything like that to him. Not once. The memory that breaks the surface. It happens on a quiet night. Snow falls gently outside. The manor sleeps peacefully. Dale lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. Calm on the surface, storm beneath. Then his vision blurs. Chains. Bright circles. The old man's smile. The blade in his back. He jolts awake, gasping. Mana explodes from him. Blue flames dance across the room, cracking the walls, shattering glass. Shadows twist violently behind him. He can't breathe. He can't think. He's back there. He's dying again. He's being betrayed again. The door bursts open. Sophia steps into the storm. "Dale," she calls out, reaching toward him. "Stay back," he chokes. I can't control it." Sophia walks forward anyway. Her aura spreads, cool, soothing, like a river swallowing flames. She holds him from behind. His body stiffens. "Breathe," she whispers. "I'm here. It's okay. Breathe." The mana slams against her, angry, wild, desperate. But she holds him gently, firmly, and slowly, slowly. The magic calms. The shadows settle. Dale collapses into her arms, shaking. Sophia strokes his hair. "You're safe. I won't let anything hurt you. Even if it's yourself." Dale closes his eyes, and for the first time in this life, he lets someone hold him while he falls apart. The gift of forbidden knowledge. The next morning she knocks on his door. Her expression is serious, almost conflicted. "Dale," she says softly, "come with me." She leads him to a hidden chamber beneath the manor. Dusty shelves, old scrolls, sealed boxes, relics of a past that the Duke doesn't talk about. Sophia lifts a cloth from a locked black tome. It pulses faintly with death-tinged mana. Dale's eyes widen. This is a necromancer's codex. Sophia meets his gaze, calm, steady, trusting. "You're ready." His breath catches. "I thought my mother forbade." "I am not giving this to the Duchess's son. I'm giving it to you. To the child crying in the night. To the boy who's fighting battles alone. To the one who seeks strength because something broke him long before I ever arrived." Her hand touches his. "You don't have to hide that from me." The book feels warm in his palms. Alive. Dangerous. His future. Dale whispers, voice trembling, "Why would you trust me with this?" Sophia smiles. Not the smile of a teacher, not the smile of a noble, but the smile of someone who made a terrifying, powerful choice. "Because you trust me." And Dale realizes she's right. He does. More than he's willing to admit. More than he ever expected to. Sophia steps back as he opens the cover. Dark mana swirls like a sleeping beast awakening. And in that moment, Dale Saxon finally...
The necromancer's codex feels alive in his hands. Its cover pulses like a slow heartbeat, deep, ancient, heavy with secrets whispered by the dead. Dale's fingers tremble as he opens it, pages rustling like dry bones turning in their graves. Dark mana spills out, curling around him in cold tendrils. Sophia watches from a few steps back, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Not afraid, not hesitant, simply observing him with an ache in her eyes that she tries and fails to hide. "Take your time," she says softly. "Dark magic listens to the heart. If your emotions waver, it will sense it." Dale nods, though fear coils in his stomach. Not fear of the magic, fear of himself, because he knows exactly what sits inside his heart. Anger, grief, hatred hot enough to melt iron, and a loneliness so deep it echoes. He closes his eyes. He breathes, and the world shifts. The awakening. Mana rises from the codex like smoke, filling the room with a chilling pressure. Dale channels it carefully, guiding it down his arm and into the center of his palm. It burns, but not painfully. It burns like recognition, like
Reunion. Like something lost finally returning home. A dark magic circle forms beneath him, marked with symbols older than empires. Sophia stiffens, her breath catching. Already? She whispers it under her breath, as if the room might hear her astonishment. Dale's eyes snap open, dark light flickers within them, faint but unmistakable. Sophia takes a step forward. Dale, stop. You've seen enough for today. He shakes his head. No. I can do more. Dale. But it's too late. His mana surges upward, a dark ripple tearing across the room. The candles flicker violently, shadows stretch, peeling off the walls like living things. Sophia lunges toward him. Dale! The shadows swallow the floor beneath his feet. A cold wind howls, and a skeletal hand erupts from the magic circle. Dale's breath catches, but he doesn't scream. He doesn't panic. Instead, he lifts his small hand. The skeleton kneels, completely under his control. Sophia stares, wide-eyed. A boy barely 8 years old, just awakened necromancy stronger than half the court sorcerers alive. But all Dale sees is the memory of Earth, the corpses, the battlefield, the friends he lost. He feels the old wounds throbbing. He feels the rage swelling. Sophia steps toward him carefully, like someone approaching a wild animal. Dale, she says softly, control it. Slowly. Don't let the magic feed on your pain. Her voice, steady, warm, grounding, cuts through the haze. He clenches his fist. The skeleton dissolves into dust. The shadows recoil. The mana circle fades, and silence falls. Sophia rushes to him kneeling. Her hands cup his face gently. Dale, look at me. Are you hurt? He shakes his head, but she doesn't buy it. Her thumb brushes away a tear he didn't realize fell. You're carrying too much, she whispers, more than any child should. Magic reflects the heart, and your heart is bruised. Dale looks down. Then I'll fix it. If my heart is the problem, I'll make it stronger. Sophia's expression breaks. Quietly. Tragically. No, Dale. Hearts don't get stronger by hardening. They get stronger when they're allowed to feel. His breath shivers. He looks away, because if he meets her eyes again, he might fall apart. Nightfall training. That night, when the manor sleeps, Dale slips into the garden under the moonlight. Frost crunches under his feet, the cold air sharp enough to sting. He opens the codex again. The dark magic responds immediately, like an eager beast sensing its master. Shadows gather, branches creak, the air thickens with death. Dale tightens his fists. He remembers people kneeling before him on earth. He remembers begging soldiers. He remembers the sword breaking through his chest. And he feels it again, anger swelling like a tide threatening to drown him. Mana explodes from his palm. A small, twisted creature rises from the earth, half skeletal, half shadow. A summoned wraith. It screeches, and Dale doesn't flinch. He raises his hand and crushes it instantly. The shadows scatter. His breath comes fast, harsh. He hates how easy it feels. He hates how familiar it feels. He hates that part of him enjoys it. But he needs this power. He needs to be strong enough to destroy the Empire, strong enough to protect his new family, strong enough to never be chained again. He forces himself to breathe. Control first, emotion later.
A hand touches his shoulder. He freezes. Sophia stands behind him, hair loose, pajamas wrinkled, eyes filled with worry. "Dale," she whispers, "don't train alone. Dark magic punishes loneliness." He turns away. "I'm fine." "You're not." There's no anger in her voice, no judgment, only fear. Fear for him. "Please," she says gently, "let me help you." He doesn't respond. Because if he speaks, his voice might crack again. Sophia steps forward and wraps her arm around him, warm, steady, safe. Whatever you're fighting, you don't have to fight it alone anymore. His throat tightens painfully. Because no one in his entire life has ever said that to him. Not once. A new path. A week later, she takes him to the training grounds at dawn. Frost glitters. The air tastes like cold smoke. Dale shivers, rubbing his hands together. Sophia stands behind him. "Again," she says softly. "Control the darkness. Don't suppress it. Don't let it consume you. Guide it, like you guide water." He nods. Dark mana rises in a swirling arc. Water mana follows, flowing beside it. Two opposite elements, two pieces of his soul. One forged by trauma, one guided by peace. He breathes. The magic dances. Sophia watches, arms crossed, a proud smile tugging at her lips. "You're doing it," she whispers. "You're making harmony where there should be conflict." He exhales shakily, and Sophia touches his shoulder, gently, proudly, protectively. "You're not a monster, Dale. You're a child with too much pain and too much potential, and I'm going to make sure the world never breaks you again." Dale lowers his hand.
The underground vault breathes like a beast buried beneath the manor. Cold air coils around Dale's ankles as he descends the stone steps behind his father. Torches flicker, casting long shadows that crawl along the walls. The deeper they go, the more the darkness thickens, as if something down here is watching them. Duke Dale Saxon walks ahead, silent and steady. Dale watches the man's back, studying the unshakable strength in every step. His father's presence is heavy, suffocating even, yet strangely comforting, like standing beside an unbreakable fortress. "This place," the Duke finally says, "houses the most dangerous artifacts in our lineage, things even kings fear." His voice echoes, low and cold. Dale's heartbeat quickens. Danger, power, secrets, everything he needs. They reach the final door, a massive slab of blackstone engraved with runes that pulse faintly like dying stars. The Duke touches the seal. The door opens with a groaning rumble. Inside lies a darkness so complete it swallows the torchlight, but Dale doesn't look away. Something is calling to him, not gently, hungrily. The cloak that breathes. They step inside. Dozens of artifacts rest on pedestals, ancient relics from the Empire, the Abyss, forgotten dungeons, staffs that hum with latent fury, blades that drip with lingering mana.
masks that whisper faint echoes of souls trapped inside. But Dale's eyes lock onto one thing: a cloak, black as a moonless night, floating, swaying gently, as if breathing. The Duke's voice drops. That's the Demon King's cloak, a living artifact. The air thickens. It devours mana, devours the unworthy. Only a true wielder can command it. The cloak turns, slowly, facing Dale. His blood chills. It's alive, and it recognizes him. Before his father can say more, the cloak surges forward like a black wave. "Dale!" the Duke shouts. The cloak wraps around him, swallowing him whole. Cold, suffocating, crushing. It squeezes his lungs, constricts around his chest, stings his skin with needle-sharp mana. It wants to break him, digest him, consume him. Dark memories surge. Chains, summoning circles. The old man smiling, the sword in his back. Breathless pain tears through him. He claws at the cloak, but it only tightens. It wants to know his fear. It wants to taste it. His heartbeat pounds loud enough to drown out everything. No, not again. Not another chain. Not another prison. He drops to one knee, then another. The cloak tightens around his throat, and Dale stops resisting, not surrendering, focusing. He steadies his breath. He centers his mind. He remembers Sophia's voice. Guide the darkness. Don't let it consume you. His mana pulses outward, controlled, steady, sharp. Not rage, not despair. Will. The cloak freezes. Then it loosens. Slowly, it drapes itself across his shoulders, fitting him like a piece of himself he didn't realize was missing. Alan Saxon stares, stunned. Impossible. Dale stands. The cloak shadows flutter softly, obedient. "Father," he says quietly, "I think it chose me." The Duke doesn't answer. He's still processing what he just witnessed. Sword lessons with helmet. When Dale exits the vault, someone is waiting. An enormous man stands on the training grounds, broad shoulders, thick armor, and a mustache that curls like a battle banner. His presence radiates strength and discipline. Helmet. Goldburn. The strongest swordsman in the Saxon territory. Dale tilts his head. "You're big." Helmet's mustache twitches. "Thank you." It wasn't a compliment. Helmet freezes. Then he bursts into booming laughter. "Ha! Duke Saxon warned me about your mouth. Good. I like a student with personality." "I don't have a personality." "You do. It's just grumpy." Dale sighs. "That's not a personality. That's trauma." Helmet's laughter stops. He crouches down, face softening. "Kid, are you okay?" Dale looks away. "Fine." Helmet studies him for a long moment, then stands. "Well, fine or not, pick up a sword." He tosses a wooden blade at Dale. Dale catches it effortlessly. Helmet whistles. "Good reflexes. Let's see if the rest of you can keep up." They begin. Helmet strikes fast for a man his size, but Dale moves faster, his footwork precise, his body light, his reactions sharp. He parries, he dodges, he anticipates. Helmet grins wide. "You learn fast." Dale exhales, lowering his sword. "I've trained before." Helmet freezes. "Trained? You're 8. Dale looks him dead in the eye. "Life is long." Helmet stares, then bursts out laughing again. "Kid, you are not normal." "Good. Normal is boring."
But the laughter fades when Dale's swings start revealing something else. Pain, anger, loneliness, exhaustion. He sees it in the way Dale tightens his grip, in the way he flinches at praise, in the way he avoids looking anyone in the eye for too long. Between strikes, Helmet pauses. Dale? What? You fight like someone who's been hurt. Dale stiffens. Everyone's been hurt. Helmet shakes his head slowly. Not like you. The wind blows softly, scattering frost across their feet. Dale grips the sword tighter. The cloak behind him flutters uneasily, sensing the shift in his heartbeat. Helmet steps closer. Kid, you don't have to carry everything alone. Those words. He's heard them before. He didn't believe them then. He doesn't believe them now. But something in his chest stirs. Just a little. The rise of a shadow. Days turned into weeks. Dale's swordsmanship sharpens with terrifying speed. His attacks grow precise, his footwork cleaner, his instinct sharper. Helmet tries not to show it, but the man is growing nervous. No child should learn this fast. No warrior should fight this well without scars. But Dale smiles lightly through every lesson, never truly happy, never entirely present. Half the time, Helmet feels like he's training not a child, but a blade. One forged in another life, one covered in invisible cracks, one that might break the moment someone presses too hard. Yet Dale keeps going, keeps pushing, keeps bleeding quietly behind the polite smiles and soft voice. He's moving towards something dangerous, something inevitable. Helmet watches him, growing concerned, heavier by the day. Dale Saxon is becoming strong, unnaturally strong. But strength alone isn't what frightens Helmet. It's the fact that the boy fights like he's preparing for a war nobody else can see. Like he's racing a clock. Like he's afraid to be too weak when the moment comes. Helmet doesn't know the truth. He doesn't know Dale is preparing for revenge. He doesn't know Dale has lived and died once already. He doesn't know the shadows that whisper his name every night, but he senses one thing clearly. Dale Saxon is walking a dangerous path, and Helmet can only hope he's strong enough to survive whatever waits at the end of it.